Thanks again for joining us for Family Talk. I'm Deb DeYoung. This is our fourth and final video in a series with Dr. Jean Clinton from McMaster University. The topic is teens and difficult situations. Dr. Clinton, many parents on Family Talk are looking for ways to prepare their kids for tough times, and you've got a lot of clinical experience here. In other settings, you've said teens become resilient when they're faced with a challenge and overcome it. So does this mean that parents should sometimes stand aside and let their kids fend for themselves?
Very, very important that we do that as parents. Very, very hard for us to do that as parents. And of course, everything in moderation. You know, Aristotle had it right. So it's not, okay, off you go. See if you can cross that street in busy times. But we have a tendency now to overprotect our children. And Michael Unger has written a very, very good book, Too Safe for Their Own Good. And I think that we do have to have more opportunities for kids to learn by experiencing. We have to have more opportunities for them to take safe risks. So when I hear about communities that are banning kids on skateboards and other communities building skateboard parks, you can imagine which community I'm going to be thinking is doing a better job. So yes, if we can organize so that kids do have opportunities to take the risks, learn from them, but not dramatic, awful consequences. But it's hard for us as parents, but if we can think that that is a life-giving skill to know how to deal with things not going well, things not turning out the way you wanted them to be, is so important.
So here's a past comment of yours that made me smile. In this generation, there aren't winners and losers. Instead, there are winners and participants. So what does that say about us as parents? And are we setting our kids up to have a tough time dealing with the challenges of reality?
Well, I have a worry that, in fact, that we are doing that exactly. That because of, the various generational beliefs, and kids can be anything that they want to be, and, you don't hurt their feelings because feelings, and self-esteem is number one, for very good reasons, but not necessarily well-directed reasons. We look at children in a certain way, and we have a culture of parenting. So one of the cultures of parenting is, oh, honey, I don't want you to have your feelings hurt, and I don't want you to feel that you didn't win. And we're not doing our kids any favors by doing that. Kids do need to experience not doing well and having the support of how do you pull your socks up. Otherwise, they have a fixed mindset. They think, oh, well, what's the point in trying? It's not going to work. What we want is growth mindset. We want kids, when they're given a challenge, to say, man, this is hard. Is the next one going to be as hard? And if we keep telling them, oh, you're wonderful, you're fabulous, you can do anything, and oh my God, I love how you breathed in and out all day, how are they going to learn? How are they going to learn?
So you're a mother of 5. Do you have any personal stories about how you've handled underage drinking of teenagers in your own life, or other difficult situations with your kids?
Yes, I have had experience of pulling up in the driveway, and there is a massive scurrying, because we're home early, massive scurrying of kids rushing out the door, back door, front door, and even one guy came back 3 minutes later bringing our dog, because the dog had also snuck out when the kids were leaving. So what do I tell my kids? I tell them alcohol underage is illegal. Your brain is changing so much. You have excessive amount of alcohol. It is going to do more damage to your brain than it's going to do to mine. I don't want you drinking. I don't want you drinking. If you're somewhere and it's happened and you need to come home, never get in the car with anybody who's been drinking, and I will come no matter what time of day or night. I will come. But very clear message. I don't want you doing it. It's against the law. It's going to, if you're drinking excessively, it damages your brain. It impacts your hippocampus. But I'm never going to say then, you're drunk, that's it, you didn't listen to me. I'm always going to say, relationship comes first. I'm going to pick you up, and I'll be there.
In light of the current culture of parenting, what's your number one message for the parents out there today?
Number one message is relationship, relationship, relationship. That connecting with your kids, having a respectful relationship with them is going to be lifelong living learning. That if we treat our kids as we treat our best friends, we would be a better place to be. But in fact, we don't. We don't. We think we need to mold them, make them this way, make them that way, and we don't give them the opportunities to be the competent, creative people they are. And once you have a respectful relationship, you give respect, you get respect. So connect, relationship. That's the most important thing in my work as well as my life.
And what would be your main message for teens?
Connect, relationships. Connect, relationships. That what they are doing now is building their brain, and that they need to find the things that turn them on, their passion, and find the support around that, and relationships. That who they choose, be wise in who they choose as friends, because they have a huge, huge influence. So again, it's all about the social brain. It's about connect. It's about relationship. And what you're doing now is building your brain, make it the best that it can be.
So one last question then. Maybe we can hope that science is going to shed more light on issues 10 or 20 years from now. So what do you see as in the future for brain science?
Well, I think that we'll get more detailed understanding of what different areas of the brain come online, what influences the brain at different times. So I think we'll get a deeper knowledge of that. I'm hoping that we find the equivalent of that neuron connecting in terms of relationship, in terms of the socialization, in terms of the social and emotional development. I'm hoping that, so we know all about numeracy and literacy and education, but we don't know as much about social and emotional. So it would be very good if brain science can help us when I, as a clinician, I'm talking to a family and I'm talking to a child, and I have a better understanding of, well, what is making that? What's firing that? What's that sharp, sharp signal that's making that action happen? Because what we think affects how we feel, affects how we act, right? So if we think, oh, kids these days, then we feel annoyed and we act in a particular way. But if neuroscience can help us understand more deeply the social aspect of the brain, then what we think is, oh, that's not that kid being a pain. That really is what's going on, is that connects to that, connects to that. Oh my God. So he's not doing it on purpose. He's doing it because he doesn't have the skill. He doesn't have the skill to do it. And so then we act with, oh my God, that was tough. Wow, you did it all right last time. What can we do this time? Rather than, you're in your room, you're grounded. So if neuroscience can help us learn more about that social brain, it's going to help us approach our teens, all of our relationships in a way that we've got more substance to say, this works, it's good.
So Jean, all this information that you've given us is excellent, and it's quite an opportunity for us to hear directly from a doctor in the field of child psychiatry. So thank you very much for joining us on Family Talk.
My pleasure. I'm glad to do it.